Hi guys, this is Vineet and I welcome you to this new video series which I'm starting on Transact-SQL. So we will start with date and time data types. So I request you all who are new to this channel to please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. There is a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon and select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my upcoming videos. So guys, we are starting this new series on Transact-SQL and we will cover Transact-SQL in quite a lot of detail. So be ready for this journey. I hope you have subscribed by now. So let's move ahead. There are some points to remember while watching this video. Please watch this video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept. And if it's possible for you, please watch this video twice and perform any exercises in your test and lab environments only. Do not touch any production environment or production databases. And we would like to know your thoughts regarding our videos, so please share your comments, feedback, suggestions, any requirements, any day-to-day instances with SQL Server, any experiences with SQL Server, any situations where my content has helped you somewhere in some way. You can share all those experiences with us. Now, let's move ahead. So guys, I have created some playlists for you to watch. Some of them are database design, tables, business continuity, indexing, performance tuning, integration services are some of the major playlists. This video will belong to a new category I'm introducing. There will be a new playlist on Transact-SQL videos. So I will keep this as a separate playlist, just especially for our viewers who are interested in the T-SQL area, because I see that most of the people are involved in providing support in day-to-day life, basically the SQL Server support, and the most useful thing to them is learning T-SQL because they use it on a daily basis. So I will cover T-SQL in so much depth here. So this playlist will contain maybe like 200 to 300 videos under Transact-SQL. So I'm beginning with my first video today under this playlist. Yeah, under the playlist I have so many videos, and link for all these playlists are included in the video description area, so you can check them out. Apart from that, I have a channel um, page link in the video description area as well, given on this page as well. You can type the same in your browser to get to my channel page, and I have posted more than 210 videos on my channel, and the number of videos I'm growing at constant pace. So far I'm posting 5 days in a week, Monday till Friday at 6 p.m. IST time, and I'm planning on posting videos on Saturdays and Sundays as well, trying to do that, and maybe videos will be available on Saturdays and Sunday as well. Now let's come back to today's topic, and basically I will provide the brief overview of Transact-SQL, and I will try to cover date and time data types, and this video may be a multiple part video if it is lengthy to be covered in one video. Guys, you may comment regarding how long should I make a video, like of how many minutes. You like 30 minutes videos, or you like 45 minutes, or 1 hour videos. I don't have any idea on that, so I would need your help here. So suggest me how much length of video do you want, so that I can break a longer length video into multiple parts. I will keep the length of this video to till max 45 minutes, not more than that. Between 30 to 45 minutes, I would say. Let me know if you want videos for a specific length, so that I can divide them into parts so that it would be easier for you. Now let's begin our Transact-SQL journey, and we will start with the date and time data types. So guys, let's go to notes quickly. So basically this video gives the basics about how you can find and use the Microsoft T-SQL, and basically T-SQL, if I talk about, which is Transact-SQL. This T-SQL is central to using the Microsoft SQL products and services, and all tools and applications, if I say, that communicate with SQL Server, right? Uh, or we can say SQL Server database, do so by sending the T-SQL commands to the SQL Server database engine. Now, there are some tools that use the T-SQL. So one of them is SQL Server Management Studio, which we use the most. Another GUI tool is Azure Data Studio, through which you can connect to the SQL Server databases. But I think SQL Server Management Studio is more exhaustive, if you say. Otherwise, yeah, Azure Data Studio can also be used if you just want to use the queries. And we will talk about each of these tools in details later in a separate videos. And third thing is the SQL Server Data Tools, which is used for integration services. And we have a SQL command tool, which is a command line version of SQL Server. And they used to give the commands via the textual mode on the command prompt. Alright, so let me see. Now let's cover the date and time data type here. So if I talk about SQL Server, it supports the following date and time data types. So following date and time data types are supported by SQL Server. So first one is the date data type, another one is date time, next is date to, date time offset, small date time, and time. These are the date time data types that are supported by SQL Server, and we will talk about each of them in detail. So let's move ahead to the date data type. So we will cover the date one first. So if we talk about the date data type, this data type defines the date in SQL Server. Alright. And this data type has been introduced since SQL Server 2008. So we can use the date data type. Let me share a date data description. Uh, so let me share the date data type description with you guys. Give me a minute. So guys, let me take you through a demo. Here I will provide you little information on the data type description. After that, we will dive into some practicals on the converting date and time data. So let's go through this data type, which is the date data type, and syntax is basically the date is the syntax for this data type. And how do we use that? So usage is defined here. In order to declare any variables, we can start with the declare statement, and we provide the variable name. This is a local variable, and we define the data type of this particular variable as date type. And while creating tables, so using the create table statement and the table name which we give, and within the brackets we specify the columns, and along with the column name we specify the data type of the column. So this is the usage. You can go into that. And the default string literal format for the date data type is YYYY hyphen mm hyphen dd, and the range it support is 111 year 1st January 1, which is basically January 1 CE common era, and the ending range is 31st of December 9999, so which is indicated here through December 31 9999 CE. And the range supported for Informatica tool is this. So this is the range this data type supports basically. Alright, and the element ranges, let's talk about that. So YYYY is the 4 dates from 0001 till 9999. That basically represents the year. So in this format, the YYYY represents the year. And there's basically Informatica limits. For Informatica, the range is from 1582 till 9999. And mm specifies the month, which is 2 dates from 01 till 12. That represents the month in the specified year. And dd is the 2 date from 01 till 31, depending upon the month, which represents the day of a specific month. And character length is 10 positions if we talk in total. So if we count here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is the total character positions. And basically this is the character length. And precision scale is 10-0. Storage sizes, it uses 3 bytes and it's fixed in length. It's not a variable length data type. So date data type is fixed in length and it utilizes 3 bytes for end declarations. And storage structure is one 3-byte integer store state. Alright, so it's a 3-byte integer that stores the date. And accuracy is 1 day. Let's leave that. Default value is if we don't give anything, by default it takes 11/1900 as the date. And this value is used for appended date part for the implicit conversion from time to datetime to or datetime offset. Calendar type used is Gregorian. User defined fractional second precision is not available. Time zone offset, this data type is not aware about any time zones. Daylight saving aware, no, this data type does not support daylight savings and all. So yeah, we are done with the data type description. Now let me take you through a topic where we will convert some date and time data. And basically when you convert to date and time data types, SQL Server basically rejects all values that it does not recognize as dates or times. Alright. Now let me take you through a practical to convert date to other date and time types. So we will basically describe what occurs when you convert a date data type to other date and time data types. Here we can change the setting as well. So converting dates to maybe other dates and time types. Let me make it a bigger size. Okay. So yeah, this is the first information. Now, when the conversion is to time and the conversion fails and the error message 206 is raised. Alright. And if the conversion is to date time, the date component is copied. Now let me share one of the examples with you here. Let me try to convert the date data type to one of the date or time types. Let me take you to SQL Server. We will cover one practical. So waiting for SQL Server to open. After that I will cover one of the practicals where I will show you the result of converting a date value to a datetime value. Let's see what happens. So let's take my adventure box. Although it doesn't matter whatever database you take, I'm not utilizing any tables from within the database. So along with me you can type the code. So I'm declaring a variable date. Here date is the variable name and it is of date type, right? And I'm initializing that variable with 12 and 25, right? So here 12 is the year, right? 10 is the month and 25 is the date. I hope so. Okay, and let's declare another variable which is datetime, right? And let's declare it as datetime. And let's take the value of this date variable into this datetime type variable, right? So date is this, and we are initializing datetime with this date variable, and it contains this value. And this data type is basically differ between these two variables. So the second one is using the datetime. The first one was using the date. So I've initialized both the variables. Now what I can do a select add date, which will print the actual date, right? As I can specify at the rate date. This will be the column heading, and the second column I want to take is the date time, which is the value of the second variable. I'm taking it as date time. Alright, now let's try to run this program and see the output. Alright, so we see the output here, right? So the date is displayed as 25 is taken as the year and 12 is taken as the month and 10 is taken as the date. So it is displayed as like this, right? In the year YYMMDD format, YYYYDDMM format. Similarly, the date time, it has taken all the date, but time was not there in the date variable, so it has taken time as 000000. Alright, so everything is 0, right? Now when the conversion is to small date time, the date value is in the range of a small date time. Okay, the date component is copied and the time component is set to this. Okay, so let's take it as small date time to see if any changes happens. So right now we have like 9 zeros. Let's see. So the number of zeros has reduced if we take it as small date time, because small date time has little less precision on the time. It doesn't give you milliseconds, I think. So milliseconds part is removed, but yeah, if you take it as date time, the millisecond part stays and you get additional zeros which indicate the milliseconds. Now if the date value is outside the range of the small date time value, error message 242 is raised and the small date time value is set to null. And the conversion of the data type to a small data time result in an out of range values. Now let me show you another piece of code. Let me remove this or maybe modify it. Let's take date as the variable, and this time I'm taking a separate date format. I'm taking 1912 as the year, 10 will be the month, 25 will be the date, and I'm taking a variable. Let's change it to small date time, right? So variable name is small date time. I'm taking it as small date time and I'm passing the date value to this variable. Now I'm trying to print this and with a little bit change. So this will be a small date time variable. I'm taking it as small date time. Alright, so if I print this, it has printed. So 1912 is the year, 10th is the month, 25th is the date. But yeah, for small date time we have little less precision. Alright, and let's cover one more code. So let's try to see if we try to convert the date data type to a different data type, maybe datetime offset data type. We were discussing about some of the other data types, right? So we have converted date to date time, right? Now we will convert date to datetime offset. Let's see what do we get. So let's modify the code. So for small date time we lose on the precision little bit. Now let's see what happens when we convert it to datetime offset. So let's take add datetime offset as the variable name, and let's take it as datetime offset type. So datetime offset, and with the pres 3 I'm mentioning here. I will. So this is the n value. Um, so let's see when we try to convert this date value into datetime offset 3 value. We are passing in the date parameter. We are taking date as date, and here I'm taking this particular variable and maybe taking this variable inside this as well, so it will become the column heading. Let's try to execute it and see what data appears here. So now we see along with this data the date time, an offset is also appearing indicating the time zone, right? So this is the result set. So with date time offset you get the time zone as well. Alright, now let's try the another data type, which is date time 2. Let's try to convert the date into this data type. Let's take this. So let's take add date time 2 and let's take it here, date time 2 with 3 in the bracket, and let's try to print this variable to see what happens. And let's take it inside as well. Okay, try to run this code. Now the date is printed as this, and yeah, the date time 2 is also printing the same thing basically. But yeah, we have lost the offset values which is available with datetime offset data type. So these are few of the conversions I performed to show you how it converts. Now let me show you what happens when you convert string literals to date. So another heading could be converting the, I'm sorry. So converting, I'm now talking about converting the string literals to date. Okay. So conversions from string literals to date and time types are allowed if all parts of the string are in valid format. So this is an important point, guys. So conversions from string literals to date and time types are allowed if all parts of the strings are in valid formats. So if the string is not in valid format, you will not be able to convert it into a date type format. So if I talk about otherwise, a runtime error is raised. Alright. And implicit or explicit conversions that don't specify a style from date and time types to string literals are in the default format of our current session. Alright, let's try to do some practicals here. So we will try to perform some datetime conversions. Let's see. So let's run some code here. Remove this. Now let's use the select statement and take some castings. So cast is a function basically which performs the function of converting a data. So let's take a date here, and the date I'm taking is 2022 0508, and I'm taking time as well 3529. I'm taking precision as well 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 in milliseconds. I'm taking offset as well as the offset will be 1215, and I'm taking it as times 7. Let's see what happens when we take it as times 7. Okay, and this is the closure of the function. So this complete is a function which will convert this value into times 7 type, and let's take it as time. Alright, now let's take another conversion which will be cast, and let's take it till here, and we are converting it into the date type. Let's see how it converts into date, and let's take it as date. And the third casting is, let's take it till here, and let's take it as small date time to see how it appears. So let's take it as small date time. Alright, let's take another value. So in the third one I'm not giving the precision, but I'm keeping it as 1 to 3. I'm converting this value into small date time to show you how we will lose on this precision when we convert it into small date time. And for next example also I'm taking till 1 to 3, right, and we are converting it as the date time, right, and I'm taking it as date time, right. Let's close the end it with the comma. Let's take another value. This time I'm again taking up till the complete value. Again I'm taking the complete value with offset and converting it into date time 2 with within bracket. I'm specifying the expression. I'm taking 7 as the expression. Let's see what happens when we try to convert it into date type 7 value. So it's let's take it as date time 2. Okay, let's try the last one. So let's do a casting and paste the same value, and this time I'm taking it as the datetime offset with the 7 value, and as I'm taking date time offset. Let's see what values will appear. Let's execute this statement. So it is saying an invalid syntax near the, so as is repeated multiple times, let's ignore that. Now these are the values for conversion. For first conversion into time, what it has done is it has only given me the time part, which is this with the precision. So 7 is the precision for this the milliseconds value. So that's why we specified 7, so that it can give precision of 7 in the milliseconds. And the second is we are converting this value to date type, so it only picks up the date part, which is it is showing up here. And the third is we are converting this value into a small date time value, and which will basically remove this precision. And also the second precision is also removed. It set it to 00. Alright, so it has taken this value with seconds converted to 00. And next is the date time, which has taken the complete value with the precision of milliseconds. And the next conversion is conversion into date time, and 7 is the precision for milliseconds, right? So it has taken the date with date time as well, and the 7 7 value precision for milliseconds. And lastly, with the datetime offset, in the previous datetime 2, it has removed the offset part, which is plus 1215. Now in the last conversion where we are converting it into datetime offset, it has kept the datetime offset as well of plus 1250. So now you see how conversion happens between within the datetime formats, right? So alright, we are done through this practical. Now let's move on to date time data type. We are done with the date one. So let me see. Uh, so date data type is done. Now we will move on to another data type, which will be date time data type. So let's put date time data type, and basically it defines date that is combined with a time of day with the fractional seconds. So it contains both date and time with fractional seconds as well. That is based on 24-hour clock. Alright. Okay. So basically for any type of new work or new coding, I would say use the data types time. Either use time, date, or date time 2, and the date time offset. These should be used. Ignore the date time data type. For any new work, what we would suggest is use the date time 2, and the date time offset data types instead of date time. Alright. And basically these types align with the SQL standards, and they are more portable. So time, datetime 2, and datetime offset provide more seconds precisions, and datetime offset provides the time zone support for globally supported application as well. Alright, so okay, let me give you the details like this in the table format. We'll cover the table. Give me a few seconds, let me create that for you. Okay guys, let's discuss on the datetime data type. Let me cover this table. So the syntax for usage is datetime, and with variable you can use like this. You start with the declare statement, declare a variable and define it as a datetime data type. For creating a table, the syntax is this. You give a table name, you specify the columns with the datetime data type like this. And let's remove this, and default string literal format is not applicable over here, and the date range supported is from January 1, 1753 through December 31, 9999, which is 9999. And the time range supported is 00 till 23, 59, 59, 997 is supported. Time zone offset is not supported for this data type. And element ranges, if we talk about individual elements, year YYYY represents 4 years from 1753 till 1999, that represents the year. is 2 dates and ranging from 1 to 12, that represents the month in a specified year. DD is 2 dates ranging from 0 to 31 depending upon the month, that represents the day of a specific month. HH is 2 date ranging from 00 to 23, which represents hours. Is 2 date ranging from 00 to 59, that represents a minute. And SS is 2 dates ranging from 00 to 59, that represents a second. And star is 0 to 3 dates ranging from 0 to 999, that represents the fractional seconds. Okay, so the character length is 19 positions, minimum to 23 maximum. So 19 is the minimum, 23 is max. Storage size for datetime data type is 8 bytes. Accuracy, let's leave that. Default value, if we do not specify any value for this data type, it takes 1900 as the year, and 1st January it takes as dates with 00 seconds as the value. And it uses the Gregorian calendar, and it doesn't support any user-defined fractional second precision, and does not support any time zone offsets, and it's also not aware about any daytime savings values. Now let me talk about converting the date and time types to the other datetime data type. So let me copy this and let's cover some practicals on this. So the let's convert other date and time types to maybe datetime data type. Let's try to perform these conversions. Okay, so when you convert the date and time data types, SQL Server reject all values it can't recognize as dates or times. So whenever we try to perform a conversion that SQL Server does not recognize, it rejects all those values. Now in this conversion from date and time types to the datetime data type, we will basically see what occurs when other date and so what we will do, we will see what occurs when other date and time data types are converted into datetime data type. Now when the conversion is from date, the year, the month, the day are copied. So when the conversion is from date, so if we take a particular date, the year, month and day are copied. The time component is set to 00 values, right? And let's see an example where we will convert a date to a date time value. Let's see what happens. What happens to a time component. So let's go to SQL Server, rub this off, and let me declare a date variable here. And let's take it as date, and I'm taking the date as 12/21/16 as the date. And let's terminate with semicolon and declare one more variable, which is I'm taking as date time, which is of date time type, in fact. And we are passing in the value for date to this variable. Alright, and let's perform a select statement, and let's select date time as the date time column heading, and date as the date in the column heading. Let's try to execute this. So let's see what happens when we try to convert a date value to a date time type. What does it print? So let's execute this. So this was the value we passed. So as a date it is displayed as 2016-12-21. So as a date time this value is being displayed as. So the year, month and date time date parts are copied. The time component is set as 000000. Alright, so this is how the conversion happens. Alright, and yeah, we are fine here. Now let's try to perform another conversion. Now we will convert the time value basically into date time value. So let's take time over here, and I'm taking time with the precision of 4 for the milliseconds part, and let's take a time value here. So I'm taking 1210.05, and let's take 4 value precision value in this variable, and let's define datetime variable type and pass in the time value. So let's pass time value into it, and here also we need to take time, and here also we need to specify it as time. Now let's see how this value gets converted into the datetime value. Alright, let's see. So here we got the conversion failed. Why is that so? Let me check on that. So time is fine, we have specified this. Up till this we are fine, we have passed on the time value, and this is datetime type. So this value is not correct. So in the end the precision, the milliseconds are specified after dot, not the colon. So I've corrected this value, that's why the conversion failed. So ideal way to define the time value is like this. Okay, let's execute this. Now we see the actual value passed is this, which is holding up in the time 12:10:05, and 1234 is the 4 precision for milliseconds. And when it is converted into date time, year is automatically taken as 1900, which is the default value, and 1st January, this is the date default value, which is taken because the time component does not have a date value. So the date time value has taken date value as the automatically default date value. For time it has copied the value from the original time variable, which is 12:10:05, and by default it takes 3 precision for the milliseconds, so it is showing time in that format. Alright, let's try to convert a small datetime value now. Let me specify a new value here. Let's take small datetime and take it as small datetime data type, and let's take a value for small datetime. So this will be the date and 12:32 will be the time. Let's take this, pass on the small datetime parameter to the datetime parameter, right, and print this here as small datetime, right. Let's execute this statement. Now when we are holding this value in small datetime variable, it is displayed as 2016 is the year from 16, 12 is the month, which is taken from the first value, 10 is the date, 12:32 is the time, and second is taken as 00 because we haven't specified the seconds over here. So by default it has taken 00, and when this value is converted into, so for example this value is converted into date time value, here date is copied because date was available, time is copied, time was available, millisecond information is not there, so it has taken milliseconds as 00. Alright guys, let's take another example. This time let's convert the date time offset values. So let's take date time offset, and let's take it as date time offset, right, with the precision of 4 for the milliseconds, and let's take a date with the proper zone date time offset values. So 1968 I'm taking as year 1023, and I'm taking as 12:45:37. Let's take precision as 1234 maybe. So let's take precision 1234 and specify the offset as 10. So 10, take 10 as offset. Yeah, we are done. And let's take the datetime offset here, here, and here. Let's run this query to see how this value will be displayed if we store the datetime offset data into datetime. So the offset information will get removed and the precision will be taken as 1, 2, 3. Up till this point, I think it will show the data in the datetime type. Let's see. So it is again showing the conversion error. Again, we have not taken it correctly. So let's put a dot here. This is the correct format to give time in the datetime offset type. So right, again, the datetime offset has stored all the values, right? And if we talk about here, the date time has taken till 1 to 3, right? It has removed the offset part as well as it by default it takes three dates for the milliseconds precision. All right. So this is done, guys, and let's take there are two more examples. Let me cover that quickly and we will conclude the part 1 of this video. And the rest of the items we will cover in the next video. So in next video we will cover datetime 2, datetime offset, small datetime and time data types. Now let me take datetime 2 and let's take it as datetime 2 with the precision for millisecond as 4, and let's specify a value as this, and this is okay. Let's take 1237 and remove the offset part because it doesn't store the offset values. The datetime 2 doesn't support the offset value, so I've removed it. And let's take datetime 2 into this datetime. Try to execute this statement. Let's see what happens. So you see, this is actually displaying as this under the datetime 2 values, right? With a precision of 4. It is taking a precision of 4, 1237. By default, datetime supports the precision of 3, so it has converted this value, discarded the 4th precision, which is the 7th value, and it will be displayed like this. Now I think we are fine, and we don't need to give you casting examples, so those will be literally same, where we will use the cast function to convert a value in all the time types. We have seen this example before as well, so I'm not covering that. So guys, we are done with this video. In our next video, what we will cover the datetime 2 data type in detail with some practicals. Alright, so let me write that, and yeah, I will cover the data type is covered, datetime data type is also covered. What we will cover is, we will cover the datetime 2 data type. So by default we should use the datetime 2 data type for any of our new work. We should avoid using the datetime data type. Alright guys, I will cover this datetime 2 data type in our part 2 of this video. For now I'm concluding this part 1, and guys, I thank you so much for your time watching this video. And guys, if you are not new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos. And guys, please do hit on the like button if you really like this video, and do let us know your comments, suggestions, feedbacks, any reviews, any day-to-day instances with SQL Server, and also let us know about how are you liking this new series that we are starting on Transact-SQL. I hope this series will be useful for you as it will contain many practicals and many videos. So keep a watch for new videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel with the notifications enabled. Also guys, if you have a good network of friends, please share my videos with your friends, and also you can ask them to subscribe to my channel in case you feel my videos can make difference in their life, and if they are also working in SQL Server domain, please do share my videos with them and ask them to subscribe to my channel. I thank you so much once again for your time on this video, and you have a wonderful day ahead.